trying to think about how to start this video. I've been wanting to make it for quite a while now. It's just I haven't, because for a pretty selfish reason too. I know that putting this video out, even just the title, what I plan on naming the video, even just the title, I know people will hit the unsubscribe button. Can't do anything about them. If you actually happen to stick around and you click the video, then I think you may be pleasantly surprised. Unfortunately, that is the world we live in today. People are not very accepting of opinions that don't exactly align with theirs, even though when you get down to the meat of the conversation, they're actually probably more alike than most people would like to admit. But as you can see by the video, I hold a view that is going to be controversial for some. There's going to be a lot of people who will see this and vehemently disagree and call me all kinds of weird names. Whatever, do what you got to do. But I'm of the belief that somebody being a racist does not automatically make them evil or a bad person. And I would like you to hear me out on this. Unfortunately, we have a leftover from our evolutionary past. You know what I mean? When we were in tribes, say put yourself back 5,000, 10,000 years ago, and you live with your group of people, the people that you're familiar with. A lot of the times, people who don't look like you are going to be enemy tribes, and that's something that we developed because of the way we evolved through time. And unfortunately, we have this relic that we hold on to in tribalism, and that's basically all racism is a specific form of tribalism. The same kind of tribalism we have in politics and sports teams. There's all kinds of examples, but it's bred out of ignorance, and I don't mean that as a derogatory term. Ignorance as in the literal term being without knowledge. So to discount somebody as evil or a bad person because it's just possible that they lack the proper knowledge, I think that is the case. You know what I mean? I'm going to tell you a bit of a story about myself a little bit later. But first, I would like to point your direction in a man named Daryl Davis. If anybody is a fan of Joe Rogan, you've probably seen. Maybe you haven't. Maybe it's an older episode, but search it up. It's a great podcast. Even though I know there's a lot of stupid reasons people don't like Rogan. Whatever. This is a very important conversation. You're not going to find, at least I haven't, another conversation with Daryl Davis that gets as deep into his thinking and just the genius and the courage that it took to do what he has done in his life. It's really worth checking out. So I recommend you go and checking that out after you watch this, just to get where my perspective's coming from, because it really it feels kind of vindicating to have somebody of his upbringing and who he is just in general that shares the same line of thinking I do on this. And it comes from a place of ignorance. I can't remember exactly how he put it, but it was ignorance breeds fear, fear breeds. It was this and it totally made sense. This line of thinking, this line of logic that eventually leads you to violence, and all stemming from ignorance, just not having knowledge. So yeah, I don't think that. I'm not going to backtrack here, but I will say that for some people, it is so deeply ingrained in their mind that there will be no changing of their mind. I don't think that's most people, though. I think it's a really low number. But just to give you a quick rundown on why Daryl Davis he is the American hero, man. He's a black man. He's a blues musician. I'm going to put a picture of him up here somewhere, so look for that. He's a blues musician, and he started going to Klan meetings. All right, he had something happen to him in his childhood where somebody treated him in a way that kind of shocked him, and he didn't understand it, because why are they treating me this way? Because my skin looks different than theirs, which when you don't think in that way, it's hard to see it, and it's impossible to understand. But once you come out of that fog and you see that, it's such a silly thing to to base a belief around an entire group of people over. It makes no sense. I like to make my judgments on behavior, not on looks. I think that's how it should be. But Daryl Davis went to Klan meetings and would speak to people there. It was, he said it was kind of hard for some people to adjust, I would imagine. But he said that just through people talking to him, having conversations with him, getting to know who he was as a person, talking about music, seeing him play music. I think that was a big part of it for a lot of people, because they have this preconceived notion, just bred through ignorance of things that they were taught, through their childhood, which is usually where it happens. But they get to know him and they talk to him and they eventually turn in their robes. They leave that lifestyle behind. And man, and he's done this to several people. I don't even know the number. I might, if I look it up, then I'll have it up here, of basically, and at least an approximate number of how many of the Klan members that he got to renounce their way of thinking and turn in their robes, and some actually gave him their robes. Even this, I don't remember what his rank is. I don't know the ranking system, but he was one of the top guys in his area. Notoriously just bad guy all around. And through them meeting up and talking, and he actually, in this podcast with Rogan, he explains an encounter that he had with this man the first time he ever met him. And it is so, it will have you on the edge of your seat, just the way he tells the story, the conviction that he tells it with. But they met and they had this tense moment, and they ended up meeting again and again, and eventually this man, this high-ranking, whatever his rank was, got him to turn in his robes, to leave the lifestyle behind, and they're now, I believe they are now friends, or were friends. I don't know if the other guy's still alive. I know Mr. Davis is, but definitely go check out his story. I do recommend the Rogan podcast. I think he has a TED Talk as well. He's done several speaking events, and just really a joy to hear, and I really recommend it. So we're going to get on to basically the meat and potatoes of this story, and this is the whole reason that I can speak so certainly about this, is because I am a prime example of it. So I grew up in an environment that was not conducive for I don't want to say diversity. It wasn't even that. It was just acceptance of the unknown. I don't even want to give him that much credit. I lived around a bunch of racist people. I, at times in my life when I was way younger, I said things that to this day I regret saying. I used words I regret using. I held viewpoints that I am now ashamed of ever holding. I'm not going to even say ashamed, because I actually, you know what? Now that I think of it, I think I appreciate having been able to make that transformation, because I have more knowledge about it. I understand it from more than one point of view. I don't want to say understand it. I've seen it from more than one point of view. I've went from point A to point B, and I'm so much happier being at point B. And all it took, literally all it took was, all right. So I have to describe the town I grew up in. I grew up in a very small town. One blinking traffic light, a feed store, a gas station, and another little convenience store, and cattle ranches. That's all it is, and farms, agricultural area, very, very rural. I did not even meet a black person until I got to middle school. That is a true story. They just didn't grow up where I lived. There were nobody. There was just us. You know what I mean? Just white, rural, most of them cowboys, farmers. And when you don't have exposure to other cultures, other lines of thinking, it's very easy to get caught up and to have something like that stick with you for the rest of your life. So once I got to middle school and started making friends and meeting new people, I really had at one point, at basically an awakening. It's like, what is this garbage? I've met all these cool people. I have these great friends that, if had I listened to the people that I grew up around, I would have never even taken the time to talk to them, to hear what they had to say. And luckily I did. So I think if more people could do that, I believe it would be, at least in the form of racism. I believe that would, if everybody did that and just took the time to talk to different people and find where somebody's coming from instead of shunning an entire group. And I actually say that at this point very specifically to the people that will say that a racist is an evil person, bad things should happen to them, or just assigning evil to an entire group of people. Now you might be saying, but Chris, they think this disgusting stuff, right? Because it's a learned behavior. It's something that they learn, and it can be unlearned. And I think conversation is the key to doing that. Instead of telling a person that, even if you come across somebody and and they say point blank that they're a racist, ask them why. Just strike up a conversation. Listen to what they have to say. Don't be demeaning. I don't want to say don't be forceful, because you have to be forceful in a conversation. Don't be arrogant, and don't be one-sided. You have to hear what they're thinking in order to understand where they're coming from. And I think that's a better way to go around it. Because if Daryl Davis had just assigned evil to all these people in the Klan, and well, why wouldn't you? The disgusting things that they did over the years. Why would you not just automatically say, everybody over there, that particular group of people, you suck. I want nothing to do with you. Go away. He could have done that, and he would have had every right to, and most people would, and rightly so. But he didn't do that. He took the time to talk to them, to hear what they had to say, to give his points of view, to hear theirs, to argue facts, argue information, share culture, which is what they did through music, which is why you have to listen to it from his point of view. But he could have very easily just blew him off, but instead he changed people's lives, and I guarantee you the effect that had on those people's children and their children, I think that will ring on for a very long time to come. Now, if you have managed to stay around that long, I do appreciate it. I do appreciate you not being a sensitive little jackass and unsubscribing before even watching the video or hearing what I had to say. But it is at this point I will say that it is getting close to Christmas. In fact, it's probably too close to get it by Christmas. But if you have somebody in your life that has a beard or a mustache, just some facial hair that needs to be kept up better, go check out mybeardlove.com. See what they have to offer. All kinds of wonderful scents, great products, balms, oils, shampoos. Go check them out. You will not be disappointed. Well, I'm going to get out of here. I've actually did this video because I have equipment charging so I can do my reaction videos for the day. So if you're not a fan of reaction videos and you stumbled across this by accident and you watched, then thank you very much. If you do like reaction videos, then I highly recommend you check out my channel. I've got all kinds of content, man, from every genre. So go check it out. I hope to see you guys here. I hope if you watched it and you like what I had to say, then you subscribe, because I will be doing more videos like this, giving my what I consider a unique point of view on social and political things. So thank you for watching the video and sticking around till the very end. You guys are the real MVPs. Love y'all. Peace out.